Recently, I got a new set of soft pastels and I just wanted to try them in calm and simple drawing. Hi, my name is Olena, I am an illustrator and educator, and welcome to today's video. I got myself a set of soft pastels by the French brand Sennelier, a high-quality art material brand. This is their famous set of assorted soft pastels with 120 half sticks, and it's called Paris Collection. For those of you who know me long enough, I have a special place in my heart for the soft pastels, so I've decided to treat myself with this amazing set. These pastel sticks are extra soft, they have creamy texture and very pigmented. This is not my first set of soft pastels by this brand. I already know them and love them, and I just wanted to have this beautiful range of colors for myself. So this is not a full review, and just my impression while drawing. I chose something simple, eggplants, because I love their glossy surface and deep colors. I start with a very simple sketch, just basic shapes, nothing detailed. I'm focusing on proportions, not perfection. I've chosen a square format for this drawing and a dark gray color for the paper, and I'm sketching with a white pastel pencil. The paper is also by a French brand Canson, and this is the Mitant Velvet series. This one is very similar to a famous and beloved by many pastel artists paper by Clairefontaine Pastelmat. This type of paper is with coating, and the distinctive feature is that it has very smooth tooth but holds a very big amount of pigment. I know that many pastel artists love extra soft pastels but treat them with an extra caution. The thing is that with extra soft pastel you can fill in the tooth of the paper really quickly and you won't be able to layer as much. That's why many artists prefer to put harder pastel on the base layers and the finishing ones with the extra soft and creamy pastels. Sometimes I do this myself as well, but I really love the creamy texture of the extra soft pastels and I know how many layers approximately I need and how much pressure should I put on the stick. This is how I can control the amount of pigment in the tooth of the paper. I also love that painterly look that the strokes of the extra soft pastel give. Plus, this type of paper is allowing to put many layers. As you can see here, I've already established the background color and now laying down the basic shadows. The colors I'm using for the shadows are absolutely amazing. They are purpley gray, and I have a row of 5 in my set from light to very dark. By the way, this color I am applying now is not black, this is the darkest and very deep violet gray, and now is the one that's a bit lighter. I know that the many pastel artists are trying to find the deepest tone in soft pastel but not black. Dark and very dark shades in soft pastels are really a challenge to make, so that's why many artists are wanting them. I've heard from many artists that the beloved color of deep shade is by Terry Ludwig Eggplant. It looks like super deep and purple shade. I haven't tried it myself, but I've heard a lot of positive reviews on this. But in my new set, I found a few colors that are very deep and not black. The first one is of course this super rich and dark violet shade that I've put the first on my eggplants. It is called purplish blue-gray, and the deepest tone has number 478 and you can buy it individually. It looks like very rich and purple-black. One more color from this set I would like to mention is black-green, and the deepest shade has number 177. This is the deepest green that I've seen in my life and it's absolutely beautiful. One of the things that I like the most in this set, that it has both very light values and very deep ones. Because oftentimes in the pre-made sets we get mostly mid-tones and the very light and very dark shades we are buying individually. Now let's talk about how this pastel behaves on different types of papers. As for the Canson Velvet, you can already see it now and the finished result will be at the end of this video. The first art I did with this set was on the paper of the same brand Sennelier, and the paper is called Carte. This paper for soft pastel has absolutely unique coating. It has cork base, soft but extremely grippy. This is one of my personal favorites of the soft pastel papers. So my first start with this pastel set was the raspberry dessert on the Carte pastel paper. This one's supposed to be just a study, that's why I took this piece of paper with a little damage. You can see the white spot on the left side of the paper. This paper is not water friendly, so if a droplet of water drops on the surface, the coating is coming off. The brand now has the variant of this paper that can handle water. But as soon as I finished this study, I regretted taking this damaged piece of paper because I loved the outcome so much. Seems like both paper and pastels are just made for each other, layering and blending just amazingly. I was happy to find in this set the colors that are perfect for pastry and golden crust. Plus there were amazing grays and beiges for the white in the food that I loved so much. But the cherry on top was the reds. I was amazed how beautifully I could catch the raspberry jam and the berry itself. I find this color selection absolutely amazing for the food paintings. My next artwork with this set was supposed to be a speed paint instead of those eggplants. But something went wrong and I managed to record only a sketching stage. So my next painting is a seascape on Pastelmat paper. This set has an amazing selection of yellows and oranges, and I thought that I just had to paint a sunset. But the real surprise was in the colors that could help me to bring the sea and waves to life. Because of the light conditions, I couldn't use light and vibrant blues, and the set had something to offer. I found a row of 3 colors of amazing muted blues. They called blue-gray greens, and they became my main colors for the waves. But I still needed something darker for the shadows and something lighter but muted for the foam on the waves. And I found the row of 4 very versatile colors, indigo. And they have absolutely amazing very dark and very light colors that I needed so much. As for the painting with these soft pastels on Pastelmat paper, I could layer as much as I needed, plus I could reach soft gradients, and also I could leave rich and painterly strokes if I wanted to. I enjoyed painting this seascape on this paper very much. I have one more painting to tell you about, except for these eggplants, but I would like to mention one thing. While making swatches and paintings, I've noticed that some of the sticks were very hard on the outside and very soft and creamy on the inside, and they left hardly any strokes on paper. It felt like a dry, hardened shell. So I've decided to rub those on the hardware store sandpaper. This is how it should leave the marks, and this is how it leaves with this shell. And I'm pressing very hard on the extra soft pastel. This is how it leaves the mark with the hardened shell, and this is how without it. Extra soft pastels are usually made by hand, and I don't know if this is a manufacturing thing or a storage thing, but I had 3 chalks out of 120 with this problem. As I've said, I already own a couple more of Sennelier soft pastel sets with half sticks and full-size sticks, and I've already encountered this problem with half sticks. I've decided this is worth mentioning. Now let's move on to my next art, and this time I wanted to test the technique that I've already told you about. Soft pastel on the base layers and extra soft on the top ones. For the base layer I am using Rembrandt soft pastels. I have a 90 half stick set and I've already added individually bought colors. This is an amazing, highly pigmented and artist's quality soft pastel. The Rembrandt and the Senneliers are my favorite brands of soft pastel. They have just a little bit different purpose. The soft pastel allows more control, and the extra soft allows more painterly look, and I love them both. This time I was working on the Pastelmat paper as well, plus I wanted to test yellows and greens. So all of the base layer I've made with my Rembrandt soft pastels. This was a no problem because Rembrandts are very pigmented and allow more control. And as a finishing touches, I've added creamy and painterly strokes with extra soft pastel Sennelier. This technique is usually used when you cannot reach the details with the extra soft pastel, or you are precious about them and want to use less of them, so you use a little bit cheaper soft pastels. As you can see here on the drawing, I am working on the details and I am using only extra soft pastels. The tricky thing with details can be that the extra soft pastels leave more bold marks. But I think I am managing this right now, and also for the help I am using the soft tool with the pointy end to help me blend delicate details. So now let's talk about how this Sennelier soft pastel behaves on the Canson velvet pastel paper. The paper has soft and smooth tooth, but it can hold a big amount of pigment. At the start of my work, I decided to go with more soft and smooth look rather than painterly. This means I need to build more layers to be able to make smoother transitions. This was for my objects, eggplants, but for the background, I wanted to leave more prominent marks. So for my background, I've made much less layers and added prominent strokes and marks. But for the eggplants, I had to make much more layers because you won't be able to achieve that smooth look. In order to make soft transition, I need to fill in the tooth of the paper so the pigment is on the top and I can move it softly. So I did that for my eggplants, and the tricky part was to lay down the highlights when the tooth of the paper is filled. But this is the amazing quality of papers like this. It feels like you've already filled in all of the tooth, but you can still layer and layer, and look at those soft highlights. And the fun part is, yes, I've layered the very light color on the very dark one, and I didn't use white. This is not a white color. In order to give that glossy and shiny reflection, I had to use cooler color for my highlights. And of course this set already had vibrant and very light blue color. And I found it in an amazing row of 5 beautiful and vibrant ultramarine deep colors. So this is my secret for those glossy highlights. But what about other colors? I remember when I've made those color swatches, I looked at the magenta color and thought, where on earth I would use that? Little did I know that in my next painting I'll be building the amazing and glossy eggplant colors with help of this magenta and a couple of violets. As for the greens in this set, they are absolutely amazing, you can find any green you like. And for the landscapes, deep and muted and very amazing complicated colors, and also bright and vivid for the bright vegetation. I haven't tried all of the colors yet, but I definitely can say that this set is amazing for the various landscapes, for the florals, and for the food paintings. I can't say anything about portraits or wildlife because I don't have experience in this, but I can think that those can fulfill the needs of those artists as well. And this is the final result for my eggplants. I think I've managed to make my eggplants soft and smooth and add a little bit texture to the background. I really hope you enjoyed this video of Sketch and Talk as much as I enjoyed making it. Let me know in the comments below if you like soft pastel and what is your favorite brand. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now!